So I had to have one of those kind of introspective talks with myself. As a rabid book collector, I'm doing these large book hauls, but I've got limited space on these shelves, and it was time to do some spring cleaning. Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and as always guys, I am Andrew, and today I have got a book Unhaul here for you. But before we get at it, please like this video and subscribe to the channel, as it does help the channel grow. And without any real further ado, we got a lot of books to get through. We got some kind of explaining to do, but really what it comes down to is space is limited. I like a nice clean aesthetic on my shelves. Things have gotten a bit cluttered. I've got some, series that didn't work for me. I've got some review copies that I've already reviewed. I've got some books that, I'm kind of fair to middling on, or stuff that I've DNF'd, things I've got audio or digital copies for, and I just need to make some space. So I am going to be opening up a Pango books, which will be in the description box down below with links to my social media and information about my Patreon. So you will see a lot of these listed there. Some of them are a few of them are already spoken for. But yeah, without any real mucking about, let's jump in to the first author/series. And this is one that I know a lot of people love. This is just one that didn't work for me after I'd already read one of their trilogies. But I wish them nothing but their continuing success, because they're currently killing it with special editions and Kickstarters, and that should kind of give you a hint. And we have got Bengali. Now, I read Chasing Graves last year? It was a while ago, and I was kind of fair to middling on it, so I wanted to try Emaneska. And very quickly, this one just wasn't to my taste. We were hosting a read-along in the Wizardly Do It Discord. There was a lot of people who were having a good time with the series. And I think for me, it just, at the time, wasn't working for me. And so I decided that, after 4 books and just kind of having mixed results, I'm going to I've already got these on ebook. I've got all of these on ebook, so I'm just getting rid of my physical copies. I'm going to kind of create some space on the shelf. So, of course, we've got the written. And the reason I wanted these paperback copies is we did a shelfie in the Wizardly Do It Discord. We've got a shelfie channel, which you can find the link in the description box down below for the Discord. Great fun there. Somebody, I think it was CK, I saw them on a shelf, and I was like, oh, those look awesome, and so I wanted to pick them up. Then we got Dead Stars, which is number 2, and specifically, if you look at the spines, these look gorgeous on the spine. And then, number 2 is actually, I showed you book 3 and not 2. Pale Kings is number 2. But still, the spines look very good. I don't have part 2 of Dead Stars because I bought part 2. Amazon lost it. And then when I canceled the order and went to go reorder it, the book price had increased by $7. And then by that time, I'd started the written, dropped out of the read-along. And so yeah, I don't have that one on my shelves. But I've got these 3, the first 3 of Emaneska. I've also got The Forever King in hardcover, very gorgeous, very beautiful. And I've got Heavy Lies the Crown. And this one is signed to me because I wanted it a Twitter giveaway. It is stamped and it is signed as well. You will be able to find these in the Pango books. And I'm thinking about doing Pango books because I usually take my unhauls to a local half-price books. If you don't know what half-price books is, it's books are half price or half the cover price and stuff like that. But they give you a pittance. And I like to book shop, and so I would like to kind of take this and reinvest in kind of fleshing out and filling in some spots. I'm probably going to be doing some smaller hauls here in the future, just because right now space is of a premium, and I am just taking an axe and just cutting out series from the shelf. You can see these right here. This is a 3-body problem. This is what I want your guys' input on in the comments down below. Let me know if you think, if you've been watching the channel a long time and you know my tastes. Do you think I'm going to like the 3-body problem? Because I am completely unsure. This is still in the plastic, and it has been for over a year. So this one might get added to the unhaul, but let me know in the comments down below what you think. Up next, these are ones that I have on audio, and I've got them physically. Well, I had them physically, and this is the Fetch Phillips books by Luke Arnold. If you don't know Luke Arnold, he's an author-actor who worked on Dead Sales. And these books are good. We got Last Smile and Sonder City. we have got Dead Man in a Ditch and One Foot in the Fade. And I enjoyed these books. I really liked these books, but they are books that I don't think I'll come back and reread. Now, I haven't finished One Foot in the Fade, but one of the things I like about the audios that I have is they're narrated by the man himself, who is an actor, or should I say, he is an actor. And I like just kind of gravitas and the tension that he brings to his own stories in audio. And so I'm going to let go of my physical copies just to make some more room on the shelf, because I've got some more orbit-sized editions that I am looking to add to the collection to kind of fill out some holes in my Adrian Tchaikovsky, in my Kate Elliott, and in my Melissa Caruso series that I've kind of been working on. And so I want to kind of let these go because, I've read 2 of them, and I've got all 3 of them on audio, so I figured I'd let them go. Now, these 2 are spoken for, and I want to, if this makes sense, I want to read these, but I don't think I will read these. I just don't see myself ever making the time to read these. And that kind of makes me upset, because we got Robert E. Howard's Conan collections, The Coming of Conan the Cimmerian and The Bloody Crown of Conan. Now, these are spoken for. I'm sending these to my buddy Nico. And I kind of got onto a little bit of a Robert E. Howard kick. My buddy, who doesn't read, was loving. He's like, I can't put down Conan the Barbarian. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. That makes me want to read them. And then Mike got into him, and Mike was like, yes, Conan is awesome. And I was just like, okay, I really want to read these books. And then they've just sat there. I've never bought the 3rd collection. I've had multiple chances to buy the 3rd collection of Conan, and I just haven't done it. And I think that's me telling myself that there are so many other things I would rather be reading than Conan. And so I'm going to kind of free these from the shelf. At some later date, I might buy that faux leather-bound hardback edition and then just stick that on the shelf. But right now, I'm going to let these 2 go. And I guess one of the mentions is I'm buying other editions of some of these books. Another one that is absolutely hurting me to let go, because it's a gorgeous, gorgeous edition, and I won this in a Twitter giveaway. It is numbered and signed, and that is Ringlander by Michael S. Jackson. This is numbered and signed, and I have loved looking at this edition on the shelves. I have held it and I've ogled it many, many times. I do have the ebook of this, and I have tried reading this multiple times. I've picked it up, I've put it down, I've picked it up, and I've put it down. And I think if I haven't reached for it by now, even if this is a fantastic book, I've only made it about 10% in, so it's not enough to make a judgment call. Please do not let this reflect my thoughts on the book. It's just, I've got so much to read, and I need the space. And so since I've got this in ebook as well, I am unfortunately letting my Ringlander go. It's gorgeous. I don't know if I showed you the naked hardcover, but yeah, this one is beautiful. So that will be showing up on Pango. And yeah, this hurts to let go, but I've just got to make some tough decisions. And I feel like the next haul is going to be, Unhaul is going to be even tougher, because yeah, I'm running low on space. But these 2 were kind of difficult, and then a situation happened that made this a very easy decision. I was part of a read-along with, I think, Sarah, Liam, and Evie for the Elric of Melniboné for the first collection. And I really enjoyed the first couple stories in Elric, and then it kind of went downhill for me from there. Actually, no, I think I enjoyed the first 3 or 4. And then the last one in this collection, really, like, I was not a happy camper with the last kind of story in this collection. But I was still willing to continue, and so I picked up Stormbringer. And then I just never started it. Now, I do have access to the audios of these, which is narrated by one of my favorite narrators, Samuel Rukin, who also does the Sun Eater series, which I love. And so I love his narration. And if I'm going to consume these stories, they are going to be via the audio. But then for my birthday, I was in Barnes & Noble, and I saw the 3rd collection, which is like that big. And I was just like, I don't have room to add the 3rd collection to my shelves. And so these are spoken for. These are also going to Nico. He had like the right of first refusal on a couple of these. So these are going to a good home, to a loving collector. So yeah. And then this is one where I kind of want a hardcover collection, but I also haven't started collecting the novellas. Now, this was kind of just a gag gift from my wife. We're basically been cleaning up my mother-in-law's house, and we happened to find Stephen King's Different Seasons. It's like warped and bent and yellowed. I don't. Yeah, it's like it's got a cracked spine. It's mass market paperback. All of my Stephen King books are in hardcover. So I would love to get a fantastic, nice copy of Different Seasons, but those go for buco bucks. But I do plan on getting those eventually. I also have access to the audios of this one. So right now I'm just gonna let this mass market paperback go. I still think it looks kind of cool with the orange, but yeah, no, I want a hardcover of this. So I'm gonna let that go as well. Also, if you guys have seen me torture this book, I can understand if nobody wants this one off of Pango Books. The spine was already broken. I did fold over a page, though. This is Simon R. Green's The Man with the Golden Torque. This is book 1 in the Secret Histories, but I have it in, hold on, it's right here. I have it in hardcover, so I'm letting my mass market paperback go. All right. I'm going to try and put that one back. There we go. All right, now this one, I didn't realize that this was an odd-sized paperback when I got my hands on it. And then I went to Barnes & Noble that same time I saw the third Elric book and realized that the US Orbit edition of Mask of Mirrors is like twice as big and twice as floppy, which kind of makes me happy. But also, I've just been on the fence about reading this. Now, this was sent to me just as kind of like, hey, I've got an extra copy. Would you like to get your hands on it and give it a shot? And I was like, yeah. And then I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I'm reading the blurb, and it's just like, okay, intrigue, cons, stuff like that, infiltrating like noble houses isn't really my thing. And so the more I thought about it, and the more I sat and thought about, am I gonna like M.A. Carrick's Mask of Mirrors? And I was just like, I don't know when or if I will ever get to something like this. And so it's really thick, and I'm going to go ahead and free up some space here on the shelves and let this one go. Okay, then we've got a couple review copies that I've already done reviews for, and I do have these digitally as well, so I can continue the series if these series continue. We've got Fractured Orbit, Book 1 by Herman Strunagel. I just recently read this one within the last month. I do have an ebook copy of this as well. I enjoyed this. It's just my self-pub shelf is now from the top of here to the floor here, and from the top of here to the floor here. And it's just, I've got to be very, very brutal when kind of freeing up space. But I did enjoy this one. So if you want a exodus from Earth because of climate change, and then kind of some intrigue and some shenanigans going on, space pirates, the eclipse. So I'm going to be letting that go and listing that on Pango. And then we've also got The Fear of Montcroy, which is another one that I really enjoyed by Brian Asher. This one may just end up getting donated because this is kind of an ARC copy, really good, but there was a printing error in this one where in the back half of the book, like 3 or 4 chapters have the first sentence like repeated twice. So I may not list this one on Pango, but I did enjoy this. So you should check it out. Vampire core intrigue, kind of like Castlevania, written in kind of like a movie style sort of way. Really kind of cool. So yeah, that's The Fear of Montcroy by Brian Asher. I'm going to kind of free a spot up for that on the shelf as well. This one was another Twitter giveaway, and this one kind of comes down to cost. The paperbacks of this one for the book 2 and 3, just to get the 2 books, is $54 pre-shipping. And that is L.L. Stevens' what is it? Temporary Revelations, Sordanian. I've also heard it's kind of very beautiful prose, very dense, great characters and world building. So I haven't checked this one out. This is not me saying that I DNF'd this book and I didn't like it. It's just that I don't see myself buying or spending $54 for the next 2 books. And yeah, so we've got that one right there. And I may change my mind and get the ebooks of this one, but for right now, I need to free up space, and this is a thick one. So I like winning Twitter giveaways, and I stand by my original comments on this book. One of the most beautiful covers that I have ever seen, with this light flare and the clock and the towers, and it's gorgeous, but I don't see myself getting to this one within the next 2 years, and so I just need to kind of free up some space as well. Then we've got Alistair Reynolds' House of the Suns. I did a video with Words in Time. Jonathan, I love Jonathan, and I agreed to read House of Suns before the end of 2022, which I did not do. And I had picked this up in order to fulfill that bet. I got about 40% into House of Suns, and then I put it down on audio, and so I bought the physical to kind of motivate me to read it, and that didn't quite seem to do it. I also got rid of like 3 of my Alistair Reynolds books because I didn't like the prose. I do have Revelation Space and stuff like that on ebook, so I do plan on trying Alistair Reynolds again, and I still have access to the audio if I want to go back and try that again. I was very confused by House of the Suns, and yeah, so I unfortunately am going to let this one go. Then this one I have digitally. It's thick. This is The Severing Sun by Vaughn Roycroft. I NFN'd this one recently. It's just kind of a not for now. And the more I kind of sit with that not for now, the more I'm like, I've got the ebook. I'm going to read it on ebook. And so I'm going to go ahead and let go of my physical copy to just kind of free up some space. This one was kind of... This one's weird because I have access to this one, the entire series, via Kindle Unlimited, but I don't see myself buying the next 3 books anytime soon. And this is Iron Truth. This is SPSFC 1 Winner by S.A. Tholen. It's kind of like, from what I understand, it's like a space horror sort of deal, which isn't really my jam, although I say things aren't my jam and they're totally my jam. And like I'm just picturing the gift, that's my jam. Just insert right there. That's my jam. And so, like, I picked this up because, like, I was an SPSFC 2 judge for a little bit for the first half of the competition before, you know, family issues made me had to back out. So I wanted to read this one because it was the previous winner. I never got around to it. There was supposed to be a buddy read. The person I was buddy reading with, I think Boiled Jellyfish, ended up putting it down because it wasn't working for me at the moment. So he put it down before I could get to it. And then by the time I was going to get to it, I didn't have time for it. And that was like 6 months ago. And I've never made time for it. And so, because it's a thick book, and there's another 3 in the series, this is going to be a Kindle Unlimited thing. So if I ever do read Iron Truth, I will read it on Kindle Unlimited. Alright, another review copy. We've got Creatrix of Strife, this nice little novella. And I know you're saying, Andrew, if you're worried about space, why are you getting rid of a novella? It's just a novella. And frankly, like, when you're trying to fit books nicely into a shelf, sometimes that amount of space is all it takes to crinkle a spine or crinkle a cover or to just, like, jam it in there. Just, So I'm going to let this... I enjoyed this one. Post-apocalyptic, like, volcano cult and stuff like that. Very, very interesting. DC Allen does a lot with very little page count. So, yeah. I'm going to let go of my Creatrix of Strife. And then right here, we have got a review copy that I have yet to read, but the way that it's formatted for me kind of gives me anxiety. So I went and spent the $4 to get the ebook. So because like this is like as big as my head, and the font isn't quite exactly my favorite, and it's got very wide margins, and so it's just kind of hard to hold and read. So I'm going to let go of the physical copy of The Lost Paladin, Some Legends Last Forever by Matthew Marcellus. And I picked this one up because it's like about a wounded king. I just saw Fugitive Dwarves. I love Fugitive Dwarves. And I don't let covers scare me away because some of the books that you love now started out with just kind of covers like this. And then after they get discovered, the covers get improved, they get reworked. And so I am not judging the story by the cover. I do have the ebook, and I do plan on reading and reviewing this one. All right, now this one I have another copy of because I was going to use this as a reading copy, and then it's just been kind of sitting over here next to my desk, just looking all roached and ugly. And that is my hardcover Curse of the Mistwraith. It has a very damaged dust jacket. The book itself, I think, is actually in pretty good shape. Yeah, you can see here the book itself. It's not the cleanest copy, but I mean, it's readable. It's definitely readable. And so I've got another copy, over here. I don't know why I'm pointing over here. I've got another copy over there that's Mylar wrapped. And so I'm going to let this one go. I was going to keep it to use as a reader copy. That's unnecessary. I can manage. I can take care of a book well enough to, be responsible. Now this one hurts. And specifically this one hurts because the reason I bought the first 5 in this series is because I couldn't pass this one up. And then I realized this is book 11 and I don't have room for another 5 hardcovers on my shelf right now just to fill this series that I haven't even started. So we've got Sharp's Fury by Bernard Cornwell. And I'll show you that nice little signature. Now I do have a signed book plate. So I still have Bernard's signature. So right there, this is book 11 in Sharp. So this is going to be on Pango, but no, this is book 11. I saw this in my local half-price books. I snatched it off the shelf so fast I didn't even stop to consider what I was doing. And since then, I've gone back and I've bought the first 5 hardcovers of Sharp. I still haven't read the first Sharp. I'm hoping to have read Sharp's Tiger by the time this video comes out, but I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna be getting rid of that just because I'm not gonna pad out the collection, at least not right now, unless I fall in love with Sharp. And the biggest Sharp reader that I know is Alan, and Alan hasn't even read all of the Sharp books. He's probably read through book 11, but I don't know. And so yeah, I'm gonna kind of leave it at the first 5, and we'll move on from there. And then these ones, these weren't initially included in this Unhaul. And then I was kind of looking at my shelves thinking, am I ever going to physically reread these again? Because the narration on these via audio is so class, so fantastic, that physically reading them feels kind of silly. That's Bobiverse. I've already read all 4 of these. We've got We Are Legion, We Are Bob, book 1. For We Are Many, book 2. I might have these out of order. All the Worlds, which was supposed to be the epic conclusion. And then we've got Heaven's River, which is book 4, which something that's always bugged me is that Heaven's River is so much shorter than the other 3. So I've been kind of moving my collection around to accommodate this odd-sized book. And so it kind of felt nice to just be like, you know what? I love the audio experience on this so much that if I ever do a re-listen, it's going to be on audio anyway. And so I am letting those go. And then this one I just bought. It's on order. And when I hauled this book, I knew I'd made a mistake. When I held it up and started talking about it, I was like, I've messed up. And that specifically is Streets of Laredo by Larry McMurdy. Now, My Lonesome Dove is a UK Pan Macmillan thick paperback that does not match a hardcover. And so I've bought Comanche Moon and Streets of Laredo in this one. And then I've still got to track down the 4th one in this size. But I do have those on the way. So this one's getting replaced with this style. That is all of my unhauls here. Like I said, if you are interested in picking up some of these, they will be found with all of my links, Discord, Patreon, and Pango. So check those out. And thanks for sticking with me as I very, very much hurt myself by getting rid of books because I don't like doing that. But that's all I really got for you guys. Let me know in the comments down below. Have I made some mistakes? Are you disappointed with me? Are you proud of me? Let me know your feelings in the comments down below. And as always, guys, till next time, peace out. Stay magical. Bye. And as always, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons.